What's up, everyone? Good morning. It is Monday morning. Let me make sure that this stream is live, and it looks like it is. Give me a holler if you're watching. Say hello from wherever you are so I know where you're watching from and I can say hello back. So today I'm talking about this concept of waiting until conditions are perfect before you get started. It's completely flawed. I disagree with it 100%. I don't think conditions are ever perfect. I think perfection is an illusion. And I think it's an excuse that a lot of people hide behind. And maybe not even consciously. You know, there's a lot that goes on in our conscious mind, and there's a lot that goes on in our subconscious mind. I think maybe I'm not going to do that. I'm getting really blind and I can't see well without my glasses. I think that a lot of people are struggling to, see what's going on in their unconscious mind and what's blocking them from achieving their goals. And in this case, I'm going to be talking about getting started, because getting started is, the first critical step, and it's often the hardest step for people to actually just get off the couch and go, bang, I'm doing it, And it's the 8th of January now. How many of you guys are sitting on your New Year's goals, on your New Year's resolution? How many of you had something to do with health and fitness that you said you're going to achieve this year, but it hasn't been started yet? Because if you haven't started something now, then I would dare say that you're falling into this trap of waiting for conditions to be perfect before you start. And the reason why that is such a flawed mentality is because if you only do the work to achieve your health and fitness goals when all the stars align and everything's working well, you're destined to fail. It's never going to happen, because guess what? It's guaranteed that things are going to get hard again. There's no doubt about it. When things get good, the only guarantee is that it's not going to last like that forever. And if you really take any stock of your life, you can, reflect back and really acknowledge that that is what happens. So I'll give you an example of how this worked for me. When I had my son turned 7 in February, and so in less than a month now. And when he was born, it was brutal for the first few months. Any parent that's listening, give me a shout out. Let me know what it was like for you in the first few months, year of being a parent. Major lack of sleep, clashing with your partner. Because when you're not sleeping, everything's harder. You don't, it makes everything that you do just way, way, way harder. And I was turning up to work with my eyeballs hanging out of my head. I'd been up all night. So this is when we were running Unity Gym, and I had to be at the gym every morning to teach classes. So I was still having to get to the gym by 5:30 a.m. so that I could open the gym and teach classes at 6, no matter how tired I was. And I still trained through that whole period. I still worked out. I did often 20 or 30-minute workouts, which is a concept that I've talked about before, this minimum workout, goal workout, and ideal workout. And I'll talk about that again a little bit later in this live stream to remind anybody that doesn't understand what that is. But I still pushed through and worked out because I'd seen my brother Yanni. I'd seen what it was like having a child for him. At the time, his partner worked at the gym as well, so they had their infant, and as he grew into a toddler, he was in the gym almost every day, 5 days a week. And I saw what it was like. I saw how demanding it was. I saw how that didn't change. It didn't get easier for them. And I thought, if I can't make this work, and the other thing that I weighed up against was I'd trained so many new parents over the years. I'd trained people before they had kids, and I'd trained people after their kids had gotten older. And there was an absolute theme that I could see that was happening with these people. And that is, when they had kids, they stopped training because things got hard. They stopped working out. And then when they'd come back, often a year later, sometimes longer, their health and fitness was in such bad shape. It had really gone down for them. And when you're a coach, you have people in tears talking to you about what they've lost and what they want to get back to again because of how much it means to them. And I thought, I don't want to go down that road. I don't want to be somebody that, leans on, oh yeah, I used to be in this shape, but I had kids and things got hard and I just lost it. And so despite how little sleep I was getting and despite how challenging it was still having to be at work at 5 a.m. and by the time I was ready to, when I had a space in the day when I could do a workout, how utterly exhausted I was. And I mean, I've been in the army as an infantry soldier. I've dealt with real exhaustion and sleep deprivation, but this was on another level. There was just no respite from it. And so I forced myself to maintain the habit of exercise not only when conditions weren't perfect, but they were probably as far from perfect as you could get. It was that time of my life when things were just so challenging to get anything done. That first year of parenthood is so brutal. So the purpose of this podcast, of this live stream was, what I do, my commitment with doing these live streams daily is I want to try and think of things that I can add value to. So I always that I can add value to your lives. So I always try and think of what's a topic that I've gone through myself, that I've got personal experience with, that I can help our audience with. I don't like talking about things that I don't have personal experience with. So yeah, this is a really big one because I see it all the time. It's not just with parents. People talk about, I live at Avoca Beach now and I do this group training session twice a week on Tuesday and Thursday. And I do it mostly for myself. My wife convinced me to do it because if I don't, I've gone from working at a gym where I work with people face to face every day to running an online business where I sit in my office here, and if you watch my workout videos, I do my workouts just outside that door, and even some of it's in here. And if I don't do those 2 classes a week, I don't even get out of the house, except for when I go for a run. I go running a couple of times a week, but I don't go out and socialize with people or anything. So my wife convinced me, you should go and do these classes. And so I do these classes, and whenever I'm at social gatherings and people are chit-chatting and asking about things and they find out that I do this local class, it's often that people talk about how they're going to come. Oh, that sounds awesome. I want to come. I just have to wait until this happens, or I've just got to make sure that my child gets through this hurdle, or I've just got to finish this project at work. Which is, if you look at the title of this video, I've been doing this for long enough that when I hear that, what I hear is, I really want to do this, but I'm never going to. Because that's what you're saying to yourself. You're saying, I want to do this. Life's a bit tough at the moment though, so I'll wait until things are perfect, when it's really easy for me to get down there, and that's when I'll start. And it never happens. Not only does it never happen in my experience, it absolutely never lasts. So have a think to yourself, as I'm saying this, what are you putting off right now until conditions are perfect? Because, this is obviously I'm here to talk about health and exercise. So let's stick to health and exercise. Most people that have goals for health and fitness struggle to find 1 hour a day to work out. Let's say Monday to Friday, or even 40 minutes. If you can do 40 minutes Monday to Friday, you'll change your life. Like, you will completely change your life in 6 to 12 months. You can lose an incredible amount of weight. You can build muscle. You can build flexibility. You can increase strength. All the markers for real success with health. And so then you might be thinking, but I can't find 40 minutes a day. It's too much because I've got this on this day and I've got that on that day and X, Y, and Z. Well, ask yourself this. When are you going to not have to drop the kids off at school? When is your work going to be easier than it is now? When is your boss going to all of a sudden say to you, hey, you know what? You don't need to work 10-hour days anymore. We can run this business if you work 8-hour days, just 9 to 5. When is the next project that you're waiting to finish the current project that's just taking up all your time? When is the next project going to be easier than the current project that you're on? When is that ever going to happen? Because in my life, that doesn't happen. Things don't all of a sudden get easier. There's no There's no destination that's reached where all the commitments that I have to do become easier. So the challenge, it's not about waiting until the conditions are right. It's about finding a way to do it right now when the conditions are not right. Because there will be times in life when the stars align. And if you find a way to work out and get it done when it's tough and the stars aren't aligning, then when it becomes easy, it's just beautiful. It's so easy. And you just really enjoy those times. But then when it becomes tough again, you just knuckle down and get it done. And so then if you're thinking, well, how do I do that? How do I, I literally don't have the time. I don't have, there's no space for me to do this. Everybody has 24 hours in a day, every single person. I've got 24 hours, you've got 24 hours, my wife's got 24 hours. Nobody has 26 hours in a day and nobody has 8 days in a week. So the people that get more done than others, they live their life by design, not by reaction. And what I certainly used to do is I used to live my life by reaction. This is something that Yanni and I talk about in the Peak Performance, a Peak Potential Planner podcast series, which we recorded just before Christmas last year and released it. It's an 8-part podcast series. You can get it anywhere. You can get it on YouTube. If you go to YouTube to our channel, you'll see in the podcasts, there's a Peak Potential Planner playlist. And I recommend that you check that out because we talk about this concept there. Actually, it's not. It's in this, when you go to podcast, it's in the Sound of Movement podcast. I'll have to change that. I'll make it a specific playlist for it. But within there, you'll see the 8 most recent episodes. So the idea is that living your life by reaction is, you have, or living your life reactively, I should say. You have all of these things that go on in life, Your spouse tells you you need to do this. Your boss tells you you need to do that. Your kid comes up to you and has had a bad day and needs your help. And these things you can't change, of course. But if that's where you devote all your time and all your attention, you're not living your life by design. You're living your life reactively. So then you might think, well, I can't just say no to my spouse. I can't say no to my boss. I can't say no to my kid. Of course, if you want a happy marriage or a happy relationship, if you want to not be fired at work, and if you want to, be a good parent to your child, of course you can't say no to those things. But there's a hell of a lot of other stuff in your life that you can say no to that you're probably not now. And I'll give you examples of what I've done. Again, I'll keep it relevant. I won't speak from a place of trying to dictate what people should do without actually doing it myself. So when I started learning about these